Alright, this is the Guild University. This is where your character spawns after the prologue. You wake up at the end of a lecture, and from that point forward, how much you involve yourself in the main quest is really up to you. If you choose to speak to characters, if you choose to investigate the information that we put there for you, you'll find it really rewarding, I think. But if you could not care less about this stuff and would rather just, you know, bolt out the door and head into the nearest forest, that's also an option. This allows us to have a lot of fun with the main quest because we don't have to worry about pleasing absolutely everybody. We can make it a little bit text heavy. We can put in a lot of backstory and information into the conversations. Um, one of the things I like about our conversations is even in a minor conversation like that, Ryan tries to include a range of options from nice to absolute jerk, which does come back at certain points later in the game. What route you take. I don't want to oversell that because it's not dramatically different, but you can roleplay a bit. Okay, so here's a map, the Guild University. If you examine any map, those locations get added to your world map, which makes them easier to find. So this university functions like a real university. It's a place that's sort of safe to explore. You don't have to worry about the dangers of the wild. The whole area is civilized as long as you stay within the walls, and you can sort of learn about what kind of skills are available, and you can also get a leg up on goods and items. For instance, this character, Indra, she knows me, and when a character knows you, they don't consider it stealing when you take their stuff. It's not strictly realistic, but since most people know you in the university, it's a nice way to stock up for your first couple of trips into the wild. And then there's stuff like this. This is an artifact, which is the end result of the archaeology skill. And so instead of having to explain this in text, I can sort of, place it in an exhibit, which makes sense in the university. And you can see that this might be something that you might want to create at some point. Same with stuff like weapons or any craftable goods. Examples of those things are all around the university, and there's a lot of raw materials available to dabble. Okay, so here's an example. This is an archery range, and I'll get a drink first, where you can pick up a trainer bow and some arrows, and you can try to shoot a target. And the way the target works is if you hit a bullseye, you get a little boost to your skill based on how far away you were when you hit it. Now, my arrow is going to go crazy because my skill's so low. Yeah. Oh, I hit the tree. You can see the arrow wobbling. But if I manage to hit a bullseye, then it'll give me a little boost. Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay, that's rare to hit it from that far away without low skill. But yeah, that's an example of the kind of thing that you can do all around the university. Okay, here's something that's important early and late in the game. It's the guild library. I'm going inside now. And it's a library, so it has every kind of book you can imagine. Now, you can find all these books in the rest of the world, but something the guild library tries to do is there are 2 book stands that you can only access once you have this skill. And what it tries to do is spawn the books that it thinks you might need next. Because a lot of skills have prerequisites, and there can be a dry spell where you're not finding the book or the character that can teach you the skill that you actually want. The idea is that these little book stands will present you with the next logical skill that you need. I should mention that it's a while between the guild library spawns, so it's not as though you can return every day and max out your skills. Now, I don't actually have the guild library skill, but I do have the steal skill, and you can see me use it here. Now, of course, in both cases, I sort of failed my skill roll. I got the object, but I left behind evidence that I had stolen, and my reputation's going to suffer as a result. I'll talk about stealing and reputation in another video. On the whole, I try not to punish you too much for stealing, because we all know this genre is based around kleptomania. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead to night and show you some dark rot now. Alright, it's nighttime. I've brightened this footage because YouTube tends to darken it. So hopefully what you see is representative of what I'm seeing, which is pretty dark. It's really dark, but it's not like the inky black of the alligator video. Okay, so there's 2 kinds of terrain in the world. There's civilized terrain and there's wild terrain. The whole of the university is civilization. You can extend civilization into the wild with paths, but by default, when you step outside the university walls, you are in the wild, and that leaves you exposed to creatures and to dark rot. And dark rot is what I'm going to be focusing on right now. They're taking a little while to show up. The lore behind Dark Rat's a lot of fun. It's really intricate, so I don't want to spoil it. But for this video, I'll say that Dark Rat's kind of like ghosts in that everyone knows what they are, and maybe everyone's a little bit spooked by the concept in the dark at night, but very few people actually believe that they're real. But with Dark Rat in the recent past, people have started to notice it around. Oh, here we go. Now your weapon against Dark Rat, and the reason why it's not seen in Civilization, is light. Yeah, if you don't have your light equipped, that's what's going to happen. You're gonna be infected with dark rot, just like I am now. But if you do have your light, it will evaporate in the presence of that light, and you don't have to be holding it. You can deploy it, place it on the ground. You can create a little perimeter of orb lights if you have them. But light is your friend. Anything brighter than a torch will evaporate it. You can see though that the core doesn't evaporate as quickly as the rest of it. And as long as the core is hanging out, you can still get infected if you bump into it. So you want to steer clear of them, and you also want to stay on the move, because if a whole bunch of dark rot cores are surrounding you, you find yourself stuck until morning, just fighting off the clouds. So the danger of dark rot isn't in the attack, it's in the poison. Over time, your health is reduced to the smallest possible value, and you can't heal dark rot except at a house of healing. So now there's a wolf den, so let's see how long I can last against a wolf here. I can hear it rustling, but I can't see it. Oh. Yeah, one hit, thanks to the dark rot. Oh, no, beautiful. Go ahead, glitch out. I don't mind. Walk in place. Make me look bad. Anyway, that's the university. It's where you're introduced to the storyline, it's where you're introduced to skills, it's where you're introduced to most of the game mechanics, and it's surrounded by your first real taste of danger. But as long as you stay inside the walls, you can chill out and figure out what you want to sort of do in the game before you set out and really start dealing with the threats.